Good afternoon, everyone. This is an update on the tropics for August 30th, 2022. We have a lot of things to update you guys on, so we're just going to get right into it here. We have Invest 91L still existing down here, just to the east of the Lesser Antilles and Leeward Islands. This is still expected to be heading at a northwestern direction, north of the Caribbean, according to the National Hurricane Center. And we also do have the tropical wave, the tropical disturbance, now on just off the coast of Africa here, right in those pink boxes. So that's our two disturbances right now. We have seen the disturbance over here quite disappear on the National Hurricane Center, and we have seen the area to watch over here in the Caribbean also disappear overnight on the National Hurricane Center. So our main areas of concern right now are those two pink boxes in the Atlantic tropical wise. Here's the Invest 91L satellite imagery close up, and you can see here we do have a lot of convection this morning and afternoon. We have a lot of explosive convection and kind of just lingering convection that is right near the center. You can see that low level circulation right down there. You can see also a lot of this convection letting off a lot of cloud cover to the north and pretty much all over the center of low pressure here. And again, this is expected to be heading northwestern throughout the next week or so. It is not expected to be making landfall in the Caribbean or even the United States. So far from the National Hurricane Center, we will continue to get updates, of course, but right now it is expected to be heading about a northwestern direction and possibly curve up to the north. Here's the 850 millibar vorticity for the northern Atlantic, and for Invest 91L here, we have a bunch of vorticity here. As you can see in those reds, you are reaching about around between 100 and 125 on the vorticity scale, which is a lot of vorticity here and could really get it going. The only factors for this actually weakening and not making it through is a lot due to that wind shear. We have a lot of wind shear in the way of this thing, and we have where it's going to be going. It is actually not terrible wind shear. It is going to be heading at about 40 knots of wind shear, and then the rest around 30 to 25 knots of wind shear, which is still unfavorable, but it is a lot more decent compared to 60 knots of wind shear, which is just to the north currently. Right now, it's just in between some wind shear as well. There's a blob right down here. Here's a center right there. It's going to be headed northwest, and this is where we have a lot of the lesser wind shear here, and we only have around 5 or 10 knots of wind shear in this area. A lot of those green areas here, this is all favorable conditions. Over here, you can see here's the United States, Florida, here's the Caribbean right here. So that's where it's going to be headed here and possibly curve up to the north, maybe be a fish storm, maybe even bring impacts to Bermuda. We will have to continue to give you updates and continue to monitor this Invest 91L over the next 2 weeks. But right now, there's a good chance it could get really teared apart from this wind shear and really not develop much, especially really not develop into a hurricane. Due to this wind shear, of course, it can redevelop in a lot of these warmer waters with the lesser wind shear, but I don't think it has a big potential at becoming really a big-time hurricane like a Category 2 or higher. But it still has the potential, of course, to always become a Category 1 hurricane or something like that. Over time, as it exits that wind shear into more favorable conditions, because this is the peak of hurricane season. All right, we have the warmest waters here of the season here, and we also do have some favorable conditions in place for these storms, but these storms really just need to get into a right area to really pop off. But we just haven't really been seeing the right coincidental perfect conditions for any major storms yet this season. So I think we are due for one this season. We are due, especially for even a named storm. We have gone almost 60 days without seeing a named storm, so we're definitely due for a named storm, due for Danielle and possibly Earl over September. So we will have to see it later on. Let's go ahead and look at the latest GFS run here, and we're going to switch regions to the northern Atlantic. And here is the latest GFS run. This is the 12Z run here that was just updated here. And let's go ahead and move forward. Here's the tropical wave. Here's Invest 91L. And as it heads into that wind shear, of course, it is really not going to do much. And even a weaken a little bit with that circulation. It sells around 1,009 millibars here by September 3rd as it heads to that wind shear. But as it exits here, exits the wind shear, according to the GFS model, it does survive the wind shear here and continues on as it moves out of that wind shear, potentially forms into a tropical depression, a tropical storm. GFS model still shows it becoming a hurricane, and then a little more eastward than yesterday's run. It definitely misses Bermuda, but just more eastward, so it gives a lesser threat to the United States and the Caribbean here. And again, we have that high pressure up there in the northern Atlantic. We have multiple high pressures and other low pressure systems that do lead it upwards in this type of direction, right to the northeast. And for any storms that do head into the Caribbean, we really need any high pressure that's really near the Bermuda area for any tropical waves from the MDR to actually head into the Caribbean. We need some sort of high pressure, some sort of guidance to be somewhere down here. So that's why we are seeing this actually not bring many threats here to the United States or the Caribbean, is because we don't have much guidance at all to lead this up into any landfall or major event. As we also do have the jet stream up here, which is also helping it head to the northeast as well. So I definitely agree with the GFS there. And as we head over to the European model, this only goes around 90 hours out from the 06Z run. So we will head to the 00Z run, which was updated last night. Since the Euro doesn't really update, Euro updates occasionally, it doesn't update as much as the GFS model, and it takes a lot of time to really update here. But here's the 00Z run. And here it is. As you can see, it really doesn't show from this run much development at all from Invest 91L. Still shows a lot of circulation here from Invest 91L. It actually shows Invest 92L, which is not existing as of this current moment, possibly developing up here, all the way up there in the cooler waters here in the northern Atlantic, which is unlikely, but you know, it's possible to form into some sort of post-tropical depression or something like that up there all the way far up north, but definitely not forming into a hurricane, like getting down to 986 millibars. That is quite unrealistic in the northern Atlantic according to the European model. But we do see that low pressure system over here, this tropical wave, and it doesn't really form too much, but we still have a lot of circulation from that as well. So we're still seeing signs of tropical activity. We're still seeing tropical activity, but it's really just not popping off just yet. I do think Invest 91L does still have that potential to form into a named storm like Danielle. But we also do have another tropical wave here on September 8th. That we do need to watch again as well. This is about 240 hours out from now, so it's a little far out. But again, more signs of tropical waves that continue to develop in the MDR. And again, any tropical waves that form in here could either go this way, like Invest 91L. They could go into South America, into Central America and die off, or they could do a kind of a move where they hit the Lesser Antilles and then they go through the Caribbean and even make it to the Gulf, where the Gulf has boiling waters at this point and could really spark any hurricane, any tropical storm that heads into the Gulf. They could have big potential this season, but we just haven't really seen any that do head that direction just yet. So we will have to continue to give you updates on any tropical waves that do form in the main development region. And we are going to be looking at the HWRF model. Let's see what its opinion on this Invest 91L. And already at the end, 987 millibars. So let's go all the way to the beginning. And let's see here. This is again a zoomed in model on Invest 91L. There's that low pressure system. We have a lot of convection here starting up around September 2nd to September 3rd. A lot of convection, a lot of pressure drop around September 3rd to September 4th. That's about when it exits the wind shear, which is very interesting. Again, the HWRF model agrees with GFS here and strengthens right as it exits that wind shear. That's only about 126 hours out from now. That's only about 5 days out from now. So again, we will have to watch Invest 91L very closely, as it won't bring, I don't think, any impacts to the United States at all, really, just because there's not much guidance that to bring it westward. But it does have that big potential to, again, form into a named storm, maybe even form into a Category 1 hurricane. But major hurricane at this point, like we were seeing yesterday, and even a run from today, I don't think we will see a major hurricane from Invest 91L, given all that wind shear that will give it less time to develop in a lot of these warmer waters in the Western Atlantic. We will continue to give you updates on the tropics every single day at around 1 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new, and turn on post notifications if you did enjoy and want more of these daily tropical videos. Put on those, just click those bell notifications so you will get every single video notified to your device. Every time I upload again around 1 p.m. Central Time, I will either upload then or around 3 p.m. For any tropical updates here. So share this video with any friends or family who want the latest tropical updates. As always, I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe.